Right? Yeah, right. She heard that. Man, if you've ever heard my testimony, if you ever heard me share it, man, there's been times in my life where God's like, hey, you're going to have a family one day, man. Your finances are going to get back in order. Your career is going to come back to the calling that I've called you to do. And let me tell you, at one point in my life, in those 3 areas, I did what Sarah did. Good, God, he's good, man. He's good. And then what does he do when we get over that moment? 3 weeks ago, God says, you're going to have a full band that's going to rock the house on November 13th that's being used by God. I don't know about you, Saeed, but I was like, good, God. Where's YouTube at? Because you just never know, right? But God, if we stay faithful. See, Sarah's story didn't stop with the laugh. Sarah's story didn't stop with the doubt. Hey, y'all know the story. They tried their own thing. They took matters in their own hands. But at the end of the day, they were faithful. Faith, even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children because she considered him faithful who made the promise. And so from this one man, and he as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sands on the seashore. This literally talks about life because she literally birthed life. She literally gave life and didn't think she would be able to. And so freedom brings this life that when she was willing to be faithful and Abraham was willing to be faithful, the descendants and what that life brought was outnumbered the stars in the sky and the sand on the beach and around the world. That is nuts. That is exactly what God is calling us to do. Man, she went from I cannot give life to life, more lives than she could ever count because of what her faith and what God had called her to do. I believe this with all my heart. One of the greatest gifts that we have been given is life itself. God has given the life of breathing. There's a song, we're going to do it one day, but it's called Great Are You, Lord. And the chorus literally says, it's your breath, talking about Jesus. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. And I listen to that on my Spotify all the time, and I can't help but think, God, it is your breath. It is your life that you've given me, man. Without you, I have nothing. This life would be so bland and boring and maybe some little pleasures here and there, but ultimately, man, I'd be so lost. I wouldn't be able to handle these things. Guys, marriage is hard, right? Being a parent is hard. Being a pastor is hard. Being a man of God is hard. Y'all fill in the blanks where you're at in life. These things are hard, man. Earning a living, doing what God's called to do, these things are hard. But when we give everything we have to the Lord, every part of us, then we take this gift of life that I believe is a great, great gift. Someone look at each other and say, you are a great gift from God. Come on, say it with your chest. Say it like you mean it. You are. That's right. That was genuine right there. That was legit. We are God's greatest gift, and He has given us this gift of life. Have you ever gotten like an awesome birthday gift? Or like maybe a Christmas gift? All right? Back in my day when I was 16 years old, a couple years ago, I literally, I was 16, I wanted this car, and you want to be able to drive all this stuff. And my parents didn't make a whole lot of money, so it wasn't like, oh yeah, here you go, son, here's your, Lexus or whatever. So it was kind of up in the air. I was kind of like, man, I hope I get a car, maybe not. And we opened our gifts on Christmas Eve, which is so cool. And we had, back at that church my dad was at, a Christmas Eve service as well. Hey, mark your calendars, Christmas Eve service. It's going to be phenomenal. Don't miss it. Shameless plug, done. Okay. At the end of the day, I was like, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. I remember I opened this gift, and it was like my big gift. Like in our household, you got like one big gift, because it wasn't just like gift after gift after gift. So it was like one big gift, and it was this chain, man. Back in the day, you wore these like chains, like silver. It wasn't platinum, but it was like silver chain. And I was all like hood at the time and stuff. I'm like, yeah, got my chain, got my hair, whatever. I was like, cool, man, this is awesome. And I thought that was my big gift, I love that chain. And then when I got home after our Christmas Eve service and everybody opened their gifts, and my dad said, man, let's go outside, man. Let's just enjoy the night or whatever. And I'm 16, still rocking my chain. And I go out there and I see this 1987 ugly babe. Don't tell my dad I said this, but it was an ugly car. This 1987 like goldish brown Honda Accord with a big red bow on top of it. And I literally, that was the greatest gift ever. And I was so excited, and I was so pumped. Man, did it run great all the time? No. Did it look great all the time? No. Did it have those lights that flipped up and made you look cheesier than ever? Yes. But let me tell you, I love that car. I was so happy, man, just because it was a gift. It was a gift. It was something that I knew my parents sacrificed to get for me, man, and it meant a lot. And I cherish that gift. So imagine if we take this gift of life, and what if I were taking the gift of that car and I just let it sit in the driveway forever? Just let it sit there and didn't appreciate it, didn't respect it, didn't drive it. Was that gift meant to just sit in the driveway? No. Was that gift meant to be treated like junk and not taken care of? And not, man, I treated that thing like a daggone Lamborghini. Man, I loved it, right? Because it was a gift. God has given us the gift of life, and if we're not taking that life and doing everything that He calls us to do with it, it's just like taking that car gift or whatever gift maybe you've had and just kind of putting it away, maybe not using it, maybe letting it kind of rot or whatever. And that is not the gift that God has given us. That's not what He wants to do with it. He wants us to take this life. I want you guys to repeat after me. Cherish it. Cherish it. Say it like you mean it. Love it. Love it. Live it. Live it. He wants us to take life, and He wants us to cherish it. He wants us to love it. And ultimately, when we do all those things and give it to God, then we are truly living the life that He's called us to live. And that is exactly what He wants us to do. I'm going to go a direction, almost maybe like a curveball here, but God put this on my heart to end with this, and we'll come back up in just a little bit. But when I think about life, and I think about what God has called us to do, I think about, okay, Lord, You say in Your Word You want me to be an instrument for Your glory. You say in Your Word You want me to be an instrument of righteousness and do what You call me to do. What does that look like? Hey, let's face it. We had a big week in our nation, right? We had an election. We elected a new president. And if you know me, you know I'm not political per se, okay? I'm not going to go to lunch and argue about it or talk about it. You know what? I got really convicted because I'm like, people talk about politics all the time and nothing's going to change or whatever. Like, you can't change this or change that just by talking about it. And then I thought, I talk about sports all the time. That has nothing to do with the outcome of the game. So we enjoy talking about what we talk about, right? Some of you heard the P word, politics, and you're like, what is he going to do? Oh gosh, honey, get the kids. Let's go. We got to go. Here's the deal. This is what God showed me, man. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what, where you stand, where I stand. But here's the deal. As I'm watching the election Tuesday night, and it's late, and I'm actually into it. I usually just don't get into it. I still vote, do all that stuff, but I'm just like really getting into it. I'm really praying, like, Lord, what are You showing our country right now? Let's be real. Okay, let's just be open and honest. If we were searching for a new pastor, do you think Donald Trump would be on top of that list? Probably not, all right? Not judging, nothing like that. Do you think Hillary Clinton would have been on top of that list? Probably not. Not judging, just based on the fruits that they show, does not seem that they live a life of loving Jesus. That's all I'm saying, okay? We're probably being watched by someone, sorry, all right? Whatever. But here's the deal. What God showed me is, hey, we are called to respect and honor authority, right? We're called to respect and support whoever is in as president, whoever is in our government. Let Caesars be Caesars, right? That's what God calls us to do. But here's the thing. Whether you agree with what Trump's going to do or not, whether you agree what Hillary would have done or not, whatever, let's let the politicians be politicians, okay? Let's let, maybe Trump's in office for a reason to do what he's got to do politically. But what God showed me, I'm not kidding, it was in a moment on my couch, and I'm like half awake, and my family's there watching it too, and I'm just like, I got these chill bumps, and I got emotional, man, shocker. And I almost started crying before it was even done, before we even knew exactly who was going to win. And God showed on my heart, He says, man, Trump may be the most immoral pig of the century. Hillary may be the most biggest criminal of the century, whatever. At the end of the day, though, I have called the church to be the church. And I have called the people of God to be the people of God. Trump is not Billy Graham and going to get up there and get everybody saved, but you are. Each and every single one of us is called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And so let's let the political world, let's let the social world, let's let the sports world, let that stuff do what it does. Let the entertainment world entertain. But this, regardless of who won, and regardless of who's our president, God put it on my heart in that couch, and He told me I had to share it today to say, let them do what they do, and let's just support them, respect them, is what He calls us to do. But let's take the calling to say, regardless of what the laws are, regardless of what policies are, If the church will start being the church and we'll give everything we have, everything we are, every part of ourselves to God and stop living in sin, that's when the world's going to change. That's what we're called to do. Let the people do what the people do, but God has called us to step up and do our part. Whether it is the most God-fearing, Bible-believing president in the world or not. I was going to say or Trump. Let's still, regardless of that, accept our calling and accept what God's given us to be that. At the end of the day, He can only call us to do what He calls us to do. We can only focus on ourselves and being who we're called to be and to be used by Jesus. And I believe with all my heart, if South Carolina became Sodom and Gomorrah, if South Carolina became just a state of pure evilness, we would still be called to be who we are and to do what we've been called to do. And so I really believe in all my heart that Jesus calls us and God has called us to live this thing of life. And in the midst of political change, in the midst of a new president, in the midst of a new pastor, in the midst of a new band, in the midst of everything that we are called to do in every situation of life, some of you may be in the midst of a new job, some of you may be in the midst of a new relationship or a broken relationship or new kids or wherever we're at. God has called the one constant to be in our lives, and that is giving everything we have to Him. And so I pray for our church. Guys, you can come on up. We are going to sing a song that basically, what word is that? Basically, we're going to sing a song that basically brings us all together, because let me tell you, in order to live this life of freedom, we got to trust, man. We got to trust. And what the song's going to say is, God, even when you don't do what I want you to do, even when you don't make things smooth or do this or this, I will trust in you. And Becky's going to say it way better than I am. But at the end of the day, we are called to trust and live this life that God has put out before us. Look at someone again and say, your life is a gift from God. Cherish that gift. Love that gift. And let's live out that gift that God has given us. I want to always give everybody a chance to do what you got to do. I'm a firm believer, man. If you need to get on your face before God, you need to have time to get on your face before God. If you need to leave and go talk to somebody or take care of something, leave and talk to somebody and take care of something. We're going to sing this song, and this band will play as long as they need to. But if you need to come and offer an area of your life that you have not given to God, come and do it. Go to the prayer room. Come up here to these altars. And you know who leads the way in being willing to pray and do what they got to do no matter what? Our youth group on Wednesday nights. These teens don't care who's watching. These teens don't care what's going on. We have teens from all kinds of different backgrounds and terrible situations and different things. But at the end of the day, man, you can ask Becky and Hope and Jacob and Jackie. They get up here and they worship. Whether there's 3 of them here or 10 of them here, they don't care. They get up here and worship. And when they feel called by God to handle their business at this altar, man, they do it. They don't care who's watching. They don't care who's around. Church, if some of you are not giving everything you have, if some of you don't trust in Him with all that you have, you guys can go ahead and start. Here's the deal. Don't sing this song just to sing it. Don't stand just to stand. If you need to handle your business with God first, before you can say these words, come and handle your business with God. Do what He's called you to do and live the life that He's called you to live. Listen. small group. Do what God calls you to do. We'll see you back next time. Peace out.
I'll sing you up that one over there.
Yeah, I'll probably go if they go in.
Came together pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
Professional at you catch it, but the rest of